Hello there and welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. I am today going to talk about just kind of my project here, Project Nuno. I decided to give an acronym to my name, and this is it. So Project NUNO, and that would stand for Nuanced, Uncharted, Narrative, Odyssey. Nuanced, Uncharted, Narrative, Odyssey. I love that. I think it pretty much sums up what I'm about, and I want to invite you to do the same. I would love to hear what would you come up with, if you were to give an acronym to your name and turn that into a fun, creative thing whereby you would be, I don't know if like describing yourself necessarily, but at least kind of, mentioning what you're about, So yeah, just a little creative suggestion. In any case, today I want to read to you a poem called Defeat by Kahlil Gibran. It's one of my favorite poems for some reason. I don't know, I like this idea of experiencing defeat, yet not being defeatist, if you know what I mean. Defeat is a part of life. There are many trials and errors, all kinds of projects, certainly in my life, that I sort of tried to embark on, and they did fail. There was an element of defeat, but I'm always coming back to this theme in my life. It's like I keep on trying a million different things, and I think I'm not alone here. I think there's a certain tribe of us, that kind of that does this kind of thing. It's just like we can't help ourselves. We've got to try things, and I think it's not in vain that we do so, and this is an important point. On the one hand, we don't, see through to the end. We don't bring many of those things to fruition because either we get bored or we get sort of, invested in something else. And that's fine because we're very experimental human beings. And that's what life is, a series of experiments, of projects. And I've come to the conclusion that this project-based approach, which now, by the way, is actually very common, very popular in education, with children. And I think with adults, it works so well, the project-based learning. And I think for me, it's kind of also a way, on the one hand, to synthesize. I'm like, okay, I learn about this, then I learn about that, then I learn about that. And at the same time, I get to the core of what I'm about, of what I want to explore in life. And I think this is very common, in people, very common to people who think of themselves as being a little bit chaotic, a little bit on the overthinking side of life, a little bit on the, people that have this sense of dissatisfaction. And this is an artistic quality. The resistance that we experience in life is the making of the artist, him or herself, and in addition to that, I think that the key here, certainly for me, that's my experience here, is that, we end up doing something really meaningful, once all of those projects sort of fall to the wayside, the real one, the real project, the real you, will start to manifest in untold ways. And that is a very scary and exciting moment to be in. I find myself in that transformational sort of season of life, whereby I am presented with a choice, which is to move forward, to jump into the unknown with all of that, And part of that jumping into the unknown is a kind of exposure, a kind of just, yeah, just kind of being very open and straightforward here with you, and talking about these things in hopes that it will inspire other people. And another part is to do what I have been sort of giving birth to for quite a while, but I haven't sort of let out into the world just yet, right? So I've got a lot of content that is in store, to be shared, to be put out there, and I will do so gradually. I'm committed to this, and that's why I feel both the excitement and the trepidation, because that's just how it is for me. I'm having a delicious infusion, but anyway. So today I want to read to you a poem by Kahlil Gibran, Defeat. I've mentioned it before, and I'll read it now, and then I'll talk about it a little bit more after reading it. So here we go. Defeat, my solitude and my aloofness. You are dearer to me than 1,000 triumphs, and sweeter to my heart than all world glory. Defeat, my self-knowledge and my defiance. Through you, I know that I am yet young and swift of foot, and not to be trapped by withering laurels. And in you I have found aloneness and the joy of being shunned and scorned. Defeat, my shining sword and shield. In your eyes I have read that to be enthroned is to be enslaved, and to be understood is to be leveled down, and to be grasped is but to reach one's fullness, and like a ripe fruit to fall and be consumed. Defeat, my bold companion, you shall hear my songs and my cries and my silences, and none but you shall speak to me of the beating of wings and urging of seas, and of mountains that burn in the night. And you alone shall climb my steep and rocky soul. Defeat, my deathless courage. You and I shall laugh together with the storm, and together we shall dig graves for all that die in us. And we shall stand in the sun with a will, and we shall be dangerous. It gets me every time, my goodness. Defeat, my deathless courage. It is courageous to be, willing to experience defeat. You and I shall laugh together with the storm. There's definitely a storm, right? And together we shall dig graves for all that die in us. So we allow that death to occur, of what no longer serves us, of who we no longer are, right? And we shall stand in the sun with a will, and we shall be dangerous. We will experience being, intention, a will in the light of the sun, and we shall be dangerous. Wow. I mean, it's such a victory to experience all of this defeat. It's such a victory to put your vision out there, to materialize it, to take the risk, And by the way, I'm not talking about big things here necessarily. Sometimes it's just very little steps, and but we know what the call is, step by step by step. And yeah, this is something very, nowadays people mention it quite a lot, right? The hero's journey by Joseph Campbell, a term coined by Joseph Campbell. And there is a stage of this journey, which is the refusal stage, And for me, the refusal stage is a funny one because it's not a total refusal, like a decision of like, right, no, I'm not doing it. No, for me, it's I'm not doing it yet. I know what's on the horizon, but I'm taking my time. I'm buying time. That is for me the meaning and the essence of the refusal stage. It's not a no, it's just like, oh no, but there's a yes. But it's just, going through the night of fear, the night of, million different thoughts and temptations, and, to not go ahead, to not jump into the unknown part of yourself, which is what your soul wants, right? I often talk about, there being a time when we are meant to speed things up, and then there is a time, of course, when we are meant to not rush through anything and actually feel and experience things, because that's what corresponds to that particular cycle that one is experiencing. And we've got to know the difference. And I think we do, right? If we don't kid ourselves. So with a little, or with a considerable, amount of self-knowledge, we will be able to discern which stage we are at. And sometimes the call is to stop, to slow down. Other times the call is to take the leap, right? So yeah, I wanted to share this with you because not only do I love this poem so much, I think it's also very symbolic, of this new project that I'm embarking on right now, which is this kind of narrative, project-based, creative chaos-based podcast experiment. And this is sitting on a mountain of the feats that I have been willing to experience in order to get here. So I'm not making any promises of like, right, this is the inexorable project, the one that, is going to be worthy of my commitment, forevermore. But I will say that it's very symbolic that I am sort of putting myself out here with you on camera in order to share what I've got, kept in for so long, what I have kept in for so long, that all these thoughts and passages and poems and, treasures that I have found in so much of my learning and so much of my reading, and so on. And I hope this is of interest. I hope this is of value. So I'll be sharing more as we go along. Thank you very much for being there, and I'll catch up with you next time. All right.